Las Vegas Raiders at the Los Angeles Chargers. Chargers favored by 5.5. We're finally into the slate of 3 4:00 games in that window.
Good news is that shouldn't take long.
Was this one? Did the Raiders win? Yeah, they're 1-2. 1-2 versus 1-2 here. We're buying the Chargers. They back, baby. They back.
I mean, it's classic Chargers that they finally look a bit more like the team that they were supposed to be, and in the process lose Mike Williams to an ACL.
Mike Williams hurt again.
Yeah, brutal.
So ACL tear. He's out for the season. Does this become Josh Palmer? See more Quentin Johnston? What are we looking at here?
I am assuming that Josh Palmer becomes, the next guy in that offense. I think based off, what we're seeing so far, he has a much better chance of being in like a heavily involved part of the offense than Quentin Johnston does. Maybe over the year, which is what we're talking about now with an ACL, that will change. But right now, I think this is a Josh Palmer bump more than a Quentin Johnston bump.
Again, I want to direct people, because we won't spend a ton of time just breaking down, say, Justin Herbert or whatever in this, but direct people to yesterday's podcast. We had an excellent discussion with JT O'Sullivan about Justin Herbert, some of the stuff he saw specifically in that Minnesota game, but some high-level discussion about Herbert, his strengths and weaknesses, and where he can improve. Always fascinated to see the Kellen Moore offense, right? It's gone from they were chucking it downfield in week 1, running the ball like crazy, and then they come out last week, as I mentioned earlier, spread. There's no Austin Eckler in there, and they were just a pass-first offense, and Herbert drops back 47 times, and they hardly ran the ball. It is interesting to me that they're going to do that on a week-to-week basis, kind of play the game plan a little bit based off their opponent. So I think with the Raiders, their pass rush has been a little bit better than I expected, even beyond Max Crosby, but it's not great overall. And I think there's definitely some mismatches, even without Mike Williams, some mismatches to be had against that secondary. So wouldn't be surprised to see another pass-heavy attack here for the Chargers.
Yeah, I think that's true. I mean, I think that's probably what they're going to be generally this season. I think they are going to lean into that, and I like that part of their offense. We talked about the last game, how telegraphed that Raiders offense was, that it's just Davante Adams and not much else. Davante is already seeming pretty pissed off with how things are going there, which is not a great sign for how that's going to unfold over the course of the year.
If Aaron Rodgers was healthy, you'd have all those trade rumors, like have Davante and Garrett Wilson in New York or something. Not that could even be possible.
Instead, everybody's going through misery.
Max Crosby is questionable and limited at practice yesterday. He is, Chris mentioned on the broadcast, workhorse, plays a ton of snaps, hates coming off the field. We'll see what happens with him. Jimmy Garoppolo also in concussion protocol. I haven't seen an update on his expected, whether or not he's expected to play, but that ends up becoming like a 50-50 proposition usually. If you're in concussion protocol by Wednesday, is that right? So just something to keep an eye on there. Brian Hoyer has been the backup, but the great Aiden O'Connell is lurking.
The great.
Yes. I'd rather see Aiden O'Connell.
Oh, absolutely.
Given that preseason.
Nobody wants to see Brian Hoyer starting a game when Aiden O'Connell is the alternative option, given what he showed in preseason. Does it mean he'll be great in the regular season? No. But does it mean it's a more interesting game to watch than a Brian Hoyer-led team? Abso-freaking-lutely it does.
I think a Garoppolo keeps this closer. If he doesn't start, I like the Chargers covering. Can we do a...
Are we doing a Whit out?
Yeah, Whit out.
I'm taking the Chargers either way.
Okay.
Although, actually, no. For the hell with it.
If Aiden O'Connell starts.
No, I'm taking the Chargers.
You can do Whit or without Aiden O'Connell.
Without Aiden.
That's the Whit out.
No, I'm taking the Chargers.
All right, I'll just take the Chargers straight up to cover the 5.5.